Hello everyone and welcome back to my minimalist cooking videos. Today I've got something very special for you. The most delicious, most popular dessert that we have here in Thailand, mango sticky rice. If you've never tried it, what are you waiting for? Today I'm going to show you how to make it using the most basic of equipment and some simple ingredients that you can find at your local grocery store. Let's get started. Let's start by taking a look at all the ingredients you're going to need. Nothing special here. You'll need some sticky rice, coconut milk, salt, sugar, a mango, and some cornstarch. That's it. Don't worry, I'll break down each ingredient, how much is used, where you use it, and exactly how you prepare it as we go along. Let's start with the rice. You're going to need to buy glutinous rice or sticky rice. As you can see here on the package, it says glutinous rice. You want to make sure to look for something that is specifically labeled sticky or glutinous rice. Other types of rice will not work. Do not try to use a short grain, long grain white rice, or anything else. It will not work. We're going to begin by measuring 1 cup of this rice out and place it into a bowl. Now this next step is washing the rice. It may seem slightly tedious, but it is absolutely critical to ensure that you have a great finished product. You won't wash it once or twice or 3 times, but closer to 5 or 6 times. You need to make sure to loosen and free all of this excess starch on the rice. As you can see here, the water turns murky immediately, and that's a lot of the freed starch from the rice letting go and being washed away by the water. This is exactly what we want to see. It may take 4, 5, 6, even 7 washes of the rice to get it completely free. As you can see here, I'm going to continue washing, rinsing, and filling up with fresh water over and over again until the water becomes substantially clear. You should be able to see the rice through the water without much resistance. I've went ahead and sped this up just to not bore you. However, do not skip this step. It is very critical to a wonderful final product. Once the rice is nice and clean, the final step is going to fill your bowl with nice, clean, cool tap water so that we can allow it to soak. You need to soak your rice in the water here for at least 4 to 6 hours. I would say no less than 6. However, you can certainly prepare it the night before and let it soak for up to 24 hours. This soaking process of 6 to 24 hours will help rehydrate the rice and allow us to cook it nice and evenly. Speaking of cooking, after your rice is soaked, we are going to go ahead and move on to cooking it. We will be steaming it. I like to get my water boiling before I continue on just to save time down the line. As you can see here, the rice is nice and loose, seems to be rehydrated nicely. We're going to go ahead and pour that water off and get the rice drained as completely as possible. If you don't have a steamer, don't worry, neither do I. I'm actually going to show you how to build one here with some things that you can find around the kitchen to make sure that you can make this at home as well. Once you've drained your soaked rice of all the excess water, we are going to go ahead and build a steamer. I'm going to use a colander and a clean washcloth. If you have cheesecloth, that works better. However, the store that I live by does not have that in stock currently. Simply place a clean washcloth into the colander and pour your rice in. Of course, if you have a steamer basket, please feel free to use that and load the rice into some cheesecloth. That will work great. However, if you don't, this just goes to show you you don't need any special tools and you don't need to go out and buy expensive equipment to make these recipes. This actually worked perfectly well and actually produced a mango sticky rice that I feel was equal or superior in quality to what you can find in restaurants and street vendors here. Load your drained rice into your tea towel or cheesecloth and fold the edges over to create a nice little bundle. You want to allow as much room for the water vapor to circulate as possible. Since I'm using the equipment that I have on hand only and sort of MacGyvering this together, there was a bit of a gap between the lid and the pot since the colander was in place. What I did was take a second tea towel, wrap it up, and wrap that around the gap to keep the steam inside the pot. Covering the gap with the second tea towel really helps hold the steam inside the pot and against the rice where you want it, cooking your product. Since I'm using an induction electric cooktop, I don't have to worry about having an open flame. However, if you're using a gas cooktop with an open flame, please exercise caution. You have a cotton towel and an open flame. Be careful, please. Now that our rice is placed into the steamer we just built, and there's plenty of steam being produced, we are going to go ahead and start cooking the rice. We will begin by cooking the rice for 12 minutes. After about 12 minutes of steaming, the rice should be halfway done. We need to go ahead and remove it from the pot very carefully. That steam is quite hot, so we can continue cooking and finish it off. Even if you're using a regular steamer for this step and not one that you've made, you're still going to want to go ahead and flip the rice at this point. Remove the colander or your steamer basket, carefully flip the entire unit with rice over, and then place it back on the pot so we can continue cooking. And as always, be careful, this steam is hot. We're going to go ahead and roll up the second tea towel and replace that over the gap to seal in the steam and start another timer for 12 minutes. After 12 more minutes of steaming, that is 24 minutes in total, we need to check and confirm that our rice is cooked completely. Carefully open up the top of your tea towel and use a fork to check its tenderness. Checking for doneness, we will take a bite. The rice should be sticky as shown here, as well as cooked completely. When you chew it, there should be no crunchy bits whatsoever. It should be soft and smooth as cooked rice should be. This is good, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up and set it off to the side. With our rice fully steamed, we continue on with the coconut rice sauce. This is a sauce that we'll make and soak the rice to create that nice, rich flavor. I am working with very limited equipment, so I actually empty out the boiling water from the steamer that we made and make the coconut rice sauce directly in there. Our first ingredient is coconut milk. Coconut milk can be found at almost all grocery stores. You want to shake it before you use it. Make sure to mix everything up nicely. You want to use coconut milk and not coconut cream, as the coconut cream can be a little fatty for this recipe. Measure out 3/4 of a cup and add it to our pot. Our next ingredient is salt. 1 teaspoon we're going to add to the pot. This helps balance out the sweet and the salty flavor of this dish, which really makes it magical. Our final ingredient in the rice soak is sugar. I'm using white sugar. You could use brown or demerara sugar if you'd like. However, I really do recommend using white sugar in this case. You're going to add 4 nice big tablespoons to this recipe. Hey, I said it was super delicious. I didn't say it was super healthy. Over medium heat, stir the mixture until all the salt and sugar are completely dissolved. There's nothing else to this. All you're looking to do is dissolve the sugar and salt into the coconut milk. Once it's become smooth, it is ready to use. As shown, there are no crystals left, and we are going to go ahead and continue on with the recipe. The next step is to place our fully cooked, steamed, sticky rice into our coconut milk mixture. Simply invert the towel and go ahead and scrape everything into the pot and mix it up well. Take your time as mixing to break up all the lumps of sticky rice and integrate it quite well into the coconut milk mixture. It will look very, very soupy as shown. Do not worry, this is exactly what you want to see. The rice will absorb the extra liquid and thicken up nicely. If you built a steamer like I did using a washcloth, quite a bit of the sticky rice will adhere to the washcloth itself. Simply use a fork and scrape it along the surface to go ahead and remove all those kernels of rice and place them into your mixture. Stir them up as well and continue on with the recipe. The washcloth will clean up extremely well with some cool water and a little bit of agitation. Go ahead and cover that mixture and set it aside so that the rice can absorb your coconut milk mixture. We're going to move on by making the coconut topping sauce. Here are a list of the ingredients that you're going to need for that. Our coconut topping sauce starts with 1/2 cup of coconut milk added to a small saucepan. As you can note, this is the same container of coconut milk I used previously to make the rice soak. 1/2 cup goes into the small saucepan and we continue on. Once measured in, add 2 tablespoons of coconut milk to that same cup and set aside for use slightly later in this recipe. Next up is 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Again, this makes a great balance between sweet and salty in this recipe, very critical. Following that, we're going to add sugar. I'm using white sugar. You could use demerara or brown sugar if you desire. Add 2 to 3 tablespoons to your pot. And finally, we are going to finish with our final ingredient, corn flour or cornstarch. You want to add 1 to 1.5 tablespoons to your previously reserved 2 tablespoons of coconut milk and mix quite well. This is going to create our slurry that we will thicken our topping with slightly later. Stirring over medium to medium-high heat, you're looking to dissolve the sugar completely. Once you have reached a simmer with some light bubbles as shown here, that means that it is ready to thicken the mixture. Before adding, we want to make sure that our coconut milk and cornstarch slurry is nice and smooth. We're going to go ahead and stir it and make sure there are no lumps. When we add our coconut milk and cornstarch slurry to our coconut milk mixture on the stove, it will thicken it nicely and create a rich, nice sauce that we can drizzle over the top. It is very important that we stir everything as we add the thickening agent so we do not get any lumps at all. With the mixture at a simmer, add your slurry mixture to the pot. Stir immediately to make sure that there's no lumps forming and this sauce is nice and smooth and rich. Vigorously stir it. This sauce will come together in a nice, rich, thick, velvety consistency. You're looking for the consistency of a nice warm maple syrup as shown here. And this will finish off our dish fantastically. Last but certainly not least, we have a mango. It is mango sticky rice after all. To begin preparation, simply cut off each end of the mango as shown here. After you cut off each end, we are going to peel the mango. Now, if you're not very comfortable or confident doing this, I recommend that you use a vegetable peeler or place a mango in a towel and hold it in your hand to protect your hand from the knife. The goal here is to peel just the outer skin off and not lose a lot of flesh. I can do this here with a nice sharp chef's knife, however, a vegetable peeler will work quite well. It's important that you take nice, shallow, smooth cuts. This is a very, very soft fruit. It does not take much pressure at all. When you order this dish in Thailand, this is exactly how they peel the mangoes in preparation to serve them to you. You're looking to shave half the mango skin completely off so that you can prepare it for the dish. Having the skin still on the opposite face makes it a little easier to cut as this is quite slippery. When we actually cut the flesh of the mango, we need to navigate the pit or the seed that runs down the center. As shown here with my knife, it runs this way and along the face. We want to place our knife gently along the face of the pit of the seed, run back and forth, and just shave the flesh off as shown here. With the flesh separated, you can see that huge pit or seed that is inside the mango. We're going to set that aside. Traditionally here in Thailand, they will serve half a mango sliced into strips. However, I like to make my mango diced. Simply slice into strips, turn 90 degrees, and dice. This makes it a little bit easier to eat and have a little bit of mango in every bite that you take. Begin building the dessert by placing half of the diced mango onto a plate. And by the way, guys, don't forget that this recipe is naturally vegan without any modification, so everyone can enjoy it. As I'm assembling these plates, I want to tell you, this recipe made 2 extremely generous portions, kind of indulgent to be honest with you. I would recommend you split it between 3, possibly 4 people. This dessert is deceptively rich and really can feed 4 people from this recipe, or 3 people who have a nice appetite. As I said before, the rice will absorb your coconut and sugar milk mixture completely. As you can see here, it is completely absorbed and there's no loose liquid sitting around the rice whatsoever. The rice absorbed all that liquid in about 10 to 15 minutes as we allowed it to rest. Make sure to keep it covered so it stays nice and warm as it rests. We are going to place a nice large scoop of the coconut sticky rice right next to our diced mango. Again, you will see 2 portions here, but they are extremely generous. You can easily use this recipe to feed 3 or 4 people as a dessert. If you found this recipe helpful, please make sure to like our channel, leave a comment, subscribe, and make sure that you hit that bell icon so you are notified every time we release a video like this. We really appreciate it and it helps us bring more videos like this to you. Finally, to finish off this dish, drizzle that beautiful, thick, rich coconut cream sauce that you made all over the rice and the diced mango. This dish is going to be served slightly warm to your guests and is an absolute hit among everybody. I have yet to meet a person that does not love mango sticky rice. One of the best, most popular, most delicious desserts ever made here in Thailand. And don't forget, not only did we make this today, but we made it with basic tools and a minimalist kitchen. This goes to show you really don't need any special expensive tools or ingredients to make beautiful and delicious dishes for you and your family. It's that simple. Thank you so much for watching and make sure to check out our channel for other minimalist cooking videos today.